3 a.m. There is an eerie stillness in the atmosphere, like a calm before the storm, only the storm never comes. The buildings are dark, lights of the windows turned off. You know that everyone except yourself have fallen asleep. It feels more though. You don't feel their presence, like no one else is there. The dry leaves squirtle across the pavement, even if you don't believe in ghosts. You feel alarmed by sudden sounds in this time and darkness. I like the dry leaves. They sound satisfying. They represent death and decay. Yet when you see them, you know that winter is nearly over, and life of spring is coming soon. I grab a dry leaf and fist my hand. It crumbles into little pieces and powder. The air is cold. The wind whirls the leaves in little circles. They look like they have a life of their own. I sit in the top of the staircase. In front of me, there is the darkness of the deepest part of night. There is a staircase lit with light behind me. The light is comforting, but both the dark and light places feel the same now. Feels like the edge of a universe. Feels like being present somewhere you're not supposed to, at a time you're not supposed to. The world is not bright, bustling, busy, and loud, because exactly half the time the world is like this, in this state, quiet, liminal, and alien. Only you're not supposed to know that, because you're supposed to be asleep, with your eyes closed, not witnessing the side of the world you live in that wants to hide itself. The lit staircase doesn't feel all comforting though. There's a window. I can see it behind me, after a flight of stairs. It's completely dark outside, but I don't see the darkness. I see my reflection on the glass, and I can't help but thinking that if there really is something outside in the darkness watching me, it sees exactly what I see in the reflection. The idea makes me want to look over my shoulder over and over again. I do this thing where I pretend ghosts are real to conquer the fear of darkness. I could easily say that they're not real, or ghosts don't exist, that there's nothing there. But in my experience, fear doesn't care about logic, only emotions, because it is subconscious. So instead of pretending the fear doesn't exist, I tell myself that it does exist, that ghosts are real, and the most horrifying things possible are lurking and crawling in the dark. I think that so that I can say that I'm gonna be here regardless. Having no fear is to be fearless, but courage is to be afraid, but act despite. This applies to a lot more circumstances in the world, other than the fear of the dark. But for now, all I can think about is the darkness, the fear of the unknown. Either there's something there, or there's nothing there. Cold, dark, windy, and the sounds of dry decay material. The atmosphere I find myself in right now. This environment is the opposite of energy, activity, warmth, and light. This atmosphere is the enemy of life. No wonder we fear it. But still, one is to meet their enemies with courage. There can be no courage without fear.